Dan the Wheelman here, and I've got Connie with me. How are things, Connie?
Good, awesome.
Where are we?
We are just outside of Austin, Texas.
And what are we driving?
Something brand new, never before seen.
The Polestar 4, the 2026 Polestar 4. This is a full electric crossover coupe thing from Polestar, and it sits right between the 3 and the 2 in the lineup, even though it's called 4.
Yeah.
Never mind. But it's a very cool looking thing. It's available either as a dual motor or a single motor rear wheel drive vehicle or a dual motor all wheel drive vehicle. This is the performance package, so it gives you bigger wheels. And this color is called, what is this color called again?
Electron.
Electron blue. Looks awesome.
I love it.
I'm personally, I'm happy that Polestar did a color. Their colors have always been a little bit muted in my opinion.
Totally, but you know which one I would choose?
What?
Even though we didn't get to see it today?
The new gold one.
Gold?
Gold! Yeah, so that's pretty cool. They have that. I'll drop a shot of it in here in just a second so you can see it. But either way, it looks great. These dual tier headlights are neat. We talked about the wheels, the gold brakes behind it as well. We'll talk more about the interior in just a second, but it's a cool looking thing. And the big news here is there's no
rear window
of any kind at all, which means it's a digital rear view mirror only. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest. I mean, I've driven digital rear view mirrors before, but there's something to be said for peace of mind when you have the backup of a standard mirror. We don't have that at all here.
Yes.
But I mean, we do, but you can't see anything out of it. So it's kind of pointless, but it's going to be interesting. So let's go for a drive. Inside the Polestar 4, would you agree, Connie, it's pretty much dominated by this display, isn't it?
Yes, but I love it.
I know, it's cool. This is 15.4 inches and so many of your adjustments happen through here. This is the steering wheel adjust page. You can also do that by pressing this button here. That brings up this menu, which gives you all your different adjustments for your steering, your mirrors, and your heads up display as well. So you don't have to do it through here. The big one for me through here is the drive. This is where you play around with so many of the functions. Apologies for the fingerprints there. You got your range mode, performance mode, which is pretty much as it sounds. You want better range, choose that mode. You want to go faster, choose that mode. And then you have all the different handling stuff. This is pretty cool. And then there's some Easter eggs too. If you go to the interior button, you go to the ambiance, just wait for it. In a few seconds, there's they use all of these different planetary kind of themes to choose the interior coloring of the vehicle. And there's some cool Easter eggs like a flying Polestar there, which is a Polestar 7, but still pretty cool. So you go to Earth and it changes, hard to tell in the day, but it changes all the ambient lighting in here. The only button, Connie, is this one right here. And you love that, don't you?
I do. I love a volume knob.
Exactly. I love a volume knob, and so that's great, which is great for the sound system, Harman Kardon system. And here's nice. And over here, of course, you have your 10-inch display. This is all. You can also control, in addition to controlling your steering wheel controls, like we showed you before, you can also control your regen from here as well. So if you're hitting these buttons here and you go to the drive mode, you can see as we cycle through with this top button, that changes your one pedal drive. This changes what drive mode you're in, but this also, if you're in cruise, changes your gap control and all that stuff too. So it's a multi-purpose button, and it's a button. It's not a haptic surface, which I really appreciate. And Connie, you probably do too, right? Yes. Who wants haptic buttons on steering wheels? It's so annoying. So there's that. In here, the materials are almost fully recyclable materials, which is cool. We have the fancy Napa leather in here, which also gives you extra speakers in the headrest if you spec the special Harman Kardon system. You've got wireless charging here as well. And you have your Google built-in stuff. So your navigation system is, if you go to your thing here, your navigation system is Google Maps. So you recenter it, you'll see, there you go, that's Google Maps. That's your navigation system and all your widgets here as well. So it's a really airy interior, isn't it, Connie? Even though it's got that kind of like very tight exterior, you know, kind of like that very sloping roof line. It doesn't feel snug in here. And much of that is attributed to this glass. You press this button here and it changes the opacity of the roof, as you can see. That's pretty cool stuff. If you don't have that feature, there's no cover here. There is one, but you got to install it manually. It's not attached to the car, but Polestar says that they've treated the glass, even when you don't have the opacity or the dimmer in there, to resist too much sun getting in for that as well. Because they didn't want to put a solid roof up there because that would make it really dark in here because there's no rear window already, right? So there you go. But otherwise, it's a really nicely finished interior. The speakers are all hidden. All the vents are controlled from here as well. No unsightly vent controls on there either, which is really, really cool. You have massaging seats. You have all sorts of positions on there. Just a very adjustable vehicle once you get used to doing it all through here. But the front seat is nice. What I'm really curious about though is I'm curious about the back seat. Let's go have a look at that. Okay, color me impressed. I thought for sure with that steep roof line, I'd be bumping the wheelman hat on the headliner here or the sunroof. Not at all. I could clear it, no problem. I've even got legroom. This seat is adjusted for my 6'3" frame. So there's room here. I've got this great center armrest, a bit tough to deploy. There we go. There's got a sticky tacky surface. You want to put your phone there. It's not a charging surface, but there are 2 USB-C ports back here if you want to do that. And the seat is adjustable. Look at that. You can move it forward and you can move it back in this thing. A little display back here to control your own climate control. This is a back seat that's like meant to be used by full-size people. And that's pretty impressive. I can't believe how much room there is. How'd they do that? Mount the seats low, I guess, or whatever. I don't know, but it's pretty good. So here we are now at the wheel. Well, I'm at the wheel anyway. Connie was at the wheel already. Yes. Of the 2026 Polestar 4. And the first thing I felt when I sat in the passenger seat, and I'm feeling it again now, is what, Connie?
Smooth.
How smooth it is. We are in the performance package model, which means we have the biggest wheels you can get, 22 inches. Even with those big wheels and the kind of low profile tires surrounding them, it's still super smooth. It's just really well-tuned dampers. And it is great for that. It's low clutter in here, but this screen is massive. It's over 15 inches big, but they've placed it so that it's not, I'm being told to stop for a break. Do you want to stop for a break? Didn't we just have a break?
We just had a break 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
Not even. He just started driving.
I just started driving. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you know what happened when that stop for a break thing came up? The lumbar thing kicked me in the back.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's to wake me up.
You've been driving too long.
Yeah, that's kind of cool actually.
It
anyway,
is cool. But...
So the screen is huge, but they've placed it well so it doesn't really like dominate the perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, doesn't block the view forwards at all. It sits well below the windshield, the base of the windshield, which by the way is mounted lower than in other Polestar models. They were very careful about telling us in the presentation that we didn't just take, say, the Polestar 3 and cut it off after the front door like they said many other OEMs do when it comes to making these 4-door coupes.
Yeah. They
actually remodeled everything from pretty much the middle of the front wheels back.
Yeah.
They've lowered the front end, they've lowered the cowl, they've lowered where the windshield meets the hood, right?
Yes.
I think as well.
And I love it for visibility. Like someone who's short, the windshield is quite low. Yeah. And the windshield is quite low, so for outward visibility, it's excellent.
It's very good. You had a little bit of trouble with your blind spot over your left shoulder, though, didn't you?
Yes, my left shoulder driving.
Because of my seat's further back than yours would have been, I have a gap between my seat back and the door pillar, so it's not as bad for me, but worth keeping in mind for a slightly smaller driver. At any rate, the view out in general is really good, and of course, there is the digital rearview mirror, which on this one has a cool little feature where when you indicate, the mirror actually tilts a little bit to reduce your blind spot.
Yeah, the camera, and it's just like a touch. Like it's just
a couple
touch.
degrees.
But you can see it noticeably on the rearview mirror that it's moving to give you a better, wider view when you're planning to turn.
That is cool.
This is very cool.
I've never seen that before.
No, me neither.
I don't know if that.
I've never heard of it before. So
I've seen swiveling. I've seen swiveling backup cameras. That I have seen. Okay. But I've never seen swiveling.
I have not seen either. So
that's cool. They have completely closed off the rear of it, which is a very bold styling choice. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. But they are saying, look, the view out of a digital rearview mirror is inherently better. It's wider.
I think for the driver, that's 100% correct. I think, and as the driver, I've driven this already for an hour. I loved it. I have always enjoyed a digital rearview mirror. It's a much better visibility, both day and night for the driver. However, I'm curious to spend some time as a passenger in the back, because I think having a rear view out the back of the car as a passenger is kind of nice to have. So I'm curious if I would miss that.
And maybe it's a little airier, but to make it airier, what they've done is they've brought that window way back there.
Yes.
Right now, I don't know if it's still the case, for a long time, the Tesla Model X had the biggest single piece of glass of like any car on the market.
Right.
I wonder if this is now rivaling that.
I don't think so, because the Model X doesn't have any.
Oh yeah, because it goes all the way. There's no. You're right. You're absolutely right. So
I don't
still though, that is huge. This menu, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of.
I think as a new, when you first hop in, it takes us a little bit to get used to it because we haven't driven it before. But when you own a car, and I often say this in my content, when you own a car, you get used to it and you know where things are and your settings tend to stay the same.
Exactly.
So it would just become like second nature having this big screen with all of your settings inside.
And of course, speaking of low profile, the front, the center, the gate instrument cluster is tiny. It's only like 10 inches big, but it fits nicely within the steering wheel. They haven't given you a squared off top of the steering wheel rim like some manufacturers are doing to provide a better view of the gauge cluster. But since this gauge cluster is so small, it fits pretty cleanly in the view in between the top of the rim and the hub. So so that's okay. And then you've got the big like 17-inch heads-up display as well. That's an option though.
Right.
So a lot of screens if you include this as well. But yeah, to go to the only digital rearview mirror is a very, very unique thing. I'm fairly certain there's no other production vehicles that do that.
Not that I know of.
Race cars do it, of course, but I don't think there's many other production vehicles that do it.
And speaking of screens, there's also a screen in the back seat for your rear passengers as well.
But that's an option, I think.
It is.
I think they said that's an option. A little bit more than 70 grand in Canada for this one, which is actually a pretty good price.
I was impressed.
Both
to be
you
honest.
and I thought it would be closer to 80.
I did.
More.
I thought it would be upwards of 80, to be honest.
Right.
I did.
So that's starts at 65 grand in Canada. Pretty good stuff for a big battery EV. You do pay for a lot of this stuff though. The Napa leather is how much?
Yes, 5,000 Canadian.
And you've got this the changing
the liquid crystal
$2 grand or something like that
just
for
under
that.
2,000.
And you've got the Harman Kardon audio, which is
a package.
Oh.
I can't remember the cost of the package, but it includes the big head-up display as well.
Okay, 17 inches. Okay, but all told, this thing
94,000 Canadian.
94,000. But that doesn't change the fact that with a 64.9 starting price or 69.9 if you buy the all-wheel drive version, that's still a pretty good deal for a fully featured, powerful crossover EV crossover coupe thing with good range, great handling, quiet ride. That's all stuff that's standard. The adaptive suspension is standard. The sound deadening materials all standard. All of it. That is pretty good. I think that's a good price.
I totally agree.
This one here being the all-wheel drive, as is often the case with EVs, the dual motor performance model isn't always the range star, right?
Right. No. But in our climate, I'm going to go with the dual motor all-wheel drive every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I want the power.
And it's only $5,000 more, you said? Yeah.
That's right, for 5,000. And that gives you 450 thereabouts kilometers of range, whereas the single motor is closer to 500 kilometers of range. It's only about a 50 kilometer difference. It's not that much, but the power difference is huge.
Yes.
The dual motor makes 506 pound-feet of torque, and how much horsepower was it?
544.
544, exactly.
Yes.
0 to 60 of 3.6 seconds. And the power on the single motor is what again, Connie?
272 horsepower.
I love having her along. She always knows. And how much torque?
236.
With the 0 to 60 of over 7 seconds. It's twice as fast, basically, to 60 with the higher
dual motor.
The dual motor one, which is probably the one I'd have to go with for 5 grand.
100%.
I mean, 5 grand, 50 kilometers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And in our climate, it's just really, really nice to have the dual motor.
Your return on investment is better. And another big thing they talked about, in addition to having the power and the range in their presentation, was the handling and the ride. We talked about the ride at the beginning of this video. The handling is great too. Very low center of gravity, wide, nice rubber, very well controlled, very little body roll through that, like almost nothing at all.
I have to say though, my favorite is the acceleration. It's like, it is unbelievably quick and off the line.
She caught me off guard a few times. She was messing with me. It was great.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is quick, man.
I always tell people, if you have not driven an electric car yet, go drive one to feel that instant torque.
I'd go pedal to the floor off the line, just once. Just do it once.
And I love all EVs, most EVs, but this one in particular, it feels like, I said this actually when I had the Polestar 3 at home. I said it feels like a jetpack is attached to this car. And this is even
Oh.
I hate to say more so, but like it feels even more so like you have a jetpack attached.
It is.
It's very quick.
And there's a number of driving modes as well.
Yes.
Sorry, I shouldn't say driving modes. Actually, there's really only
sport mode or
and range mode. It's called sport and range or performance and range.
No, performance and range, but the sport mode is here.
Oh, there is. That's just for the ESC though. That's just for the ESC. So as far as baked in drive modes, is just 2. Range, performance. Once you go into this menu, sorry, Connie.
But the range will put you in 2-wheel drive.
Right, that's right. Locks out the front motor because it's a rear-wheel drive.
So you're going to get more range, but it's in 2-wheel drive.
Exactly, until you lose some of the power. But you can change the steering feel to 3 levels. You could change the suspension feel to 3 levels, and the power delivery to 2 levels. So like that's
I just put it back in performance.
Whoa, it's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Polestar was a race car company.
Yes.
They started out building race cars, like turning Volvos.
And all that technology is in here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They're
all the stuff they've learned.
Tech-based company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I really liked how they're very focused on, we want people to enjoy driving.
Yeah.
They said that in the presentation. Yeah. I'm not going to use the exact quote.
And design.
But they I love that attitude. Like, why not? Like, let's enjoy ourselves. Let's keep our hands on the wheel. It's a good tactile feeling. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm so happy that Polestar, and so far on this drive, I think we'll both agree they're walking the walk. I mean, this is a very fun car to drive. It's quick.
And we're doing a lot of hills and turns. It's a lot of dynamics.
You'll see on the B-roll here in a minute the kind of road we're on. But like we're in the foothills around Austin, Texas, and it's really a good test bed for this vehicle. And even in the city, when we pull out and there was potholes everywhere and manhole covers really sunken down, sailed through all that, no problem.
Yeah, and I do like that you can change the suspension feel from standard to nimble to firm.
Nimble.
Yeah. So we're in nimble mode right now.
We're in nimble now. Well, that's fine. I mean, firm, I could put it in firm, but there's some bumps here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a really neat thing. Bottom line is, it doesn't look like a crossover or SUV. No. It doesn't drive like a crossover or SUV. They're calling it, what do they call it? A coupe SUV, a crossover coupe, I think, something like that. Or, a D segment crossover coupe, something to that effect. And
whatever D segment means. That's not a term consumers use.
No, it isn't. But OEMs do. But it doesn't drive. You like that? See, I owe you one. It doesn't drive like that.
No.
I feel like I'm in a car.
Yeah.
I feel like the seating
sports
position,
sedan.
The low cowl.
Sports sedan.
I feel like I'm in a sports sedan.
Does.
And the Polestar 5 is coming, which is like a Grand Tour Porsche Taycan competitor.
Yeah.
If this feels like that, imagine how that one's going to feel.
I know.
And I think that's a great note to end on, actually. So this is Connie Peters. You can find her where?
XO Connie Peters everywhere.
Everywhere. And you can find me, Dan the Wheelman, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, and of course keep it locked to the Dan the Wheelman YouTube channel, unless of course you're going to visit Connie's channel. Always fun new stuff going up here, there, and everywhere. So thanks so much for tuning into this video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. If not, no hard feelings, of course. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Dan the Wheelman and
Connie Peters
signing off from Texas.